The Marcus Locke Protocol. Chapter 1. The disappearance that shouldn't have happened.
Breaking news. Today, the unthinkable occurred. World-renowned journalist Amelia Roth has vanished without a trace from the ultra-secure top-floor suite of the Pinnacle Tower.
The news spread like wildfire across every media channel, a feverish hysteria gripping the global audience. Amelia Roth wasn't just any journalist. She was the fearless investigator whose exposés toppled corporations and shattered corrupt regimes. She had recently hinted at her most explosive revelation yet, promising evidence that could shake the foundations of society itself. Investigator Marcus Locke watched the news broadcast intently from his sparsely furnished apartment, the flicker of the television screen illuminating the weariness etched deeply into his face. Once a decorated intelligence officer, Marcus now worked privately, haunted by shadows from operations he couldn't forget, a past he could never escape.
Marcus, we need you. Amelia Roth's disappearance defies every security measure. Pinnacle Tower is a fortress, no forced entry, cameras never flickered, alarms never triggered.
If it's impossible, why call me?
Marcus exhaled sharply, his gut tightening with apprehension.
Because you specialize in the impossible. And Marcus, she left something for you, a message, hidden in plain sight.
At Pinnacle Tower, Marcus surveyed the scene meticulously. The penthouse suite was pristine, almost too pristine. Nothing disturbed, no sign of struggle. Security footage replayed flawlessly, Amelia visible until exactly 11:17 p.m., after which she simply ceased to exist on camera. Then he found it, a subtle anomaly. Amelia had meticulously placed her coffee cup exactly 2 inches left from her usual spot. Beneath it was a small, folded note. Marcus unfolded it carefully, pulse quickening. Written in Amelia's precise handwriting was a cryptic warning. Marcus, they erase anyone who sees the cracks. Trust nothing, not even yourself. Marcus's mind raced. He felt the presence of eyes watching, shadows shifting imperceptibly. A familiar chill gripped him. He had stepped into a labyrinth from which others never emerged.
Amelia, what did you find?
And just as he whispered those words, his phone buzzed ominously. An unknown number flashed a single message. Walk away, Marcus, before you vanish too. Chapter 2. The Game of Truth and Lies. Marcus Locke knew the stakes the moment he stepped into Amelia Roth's web of intrigue. The cryptic message on his phone was clear. Someone powerful was watching, pulling invisible strings. His first lead came from a secure digital archive Amelia had hidden within her routine cloud backups. Among mundane notes was a heavily encrypted file marked simply Orpheus.
Orpheus. What were you trying to tell me, Amelia?
Decryption revealed incomplete dossiers, each detailing individuals who had inexplicably vanished over the last 2 decades. Politicians, scientists, corporate whistleblowers, all erased without a trace. The connecting thread? Each had been poised to reveal a truth capable of shaking the very foundations of global society. Marcus tracked down a former colleague, Jason Reed, who had suddenly vanished from public life.
Jason, I need your help. Amelia's disappearance is tied to something bigger.
Marcus, forget it. They control everything. You don't just disappear, you get erased. Every trace, every record, every memory. Gone.
Days later, Jason's apartment was empty, neighbors claiming they'd never seen Marcus there. Surveillance footage of their meeting was gone. Files Marcus had secured vanished overnight. Even Amelia's encrypted files disappeared as if they'd never existed. Marcus felt his grip on reality slipping. His investigation was dissolving around him, replaced by distorted truths and gaslighting at every turn. Then came the breaking point. A photograph arrived anonymously, showing Amelia Roth, alive and unharmed, holding a sign. Stop looking, Marcus, or you're next.
Amelia, what have you gotten us into?
His phone buzzed again. Another unknown message. You weren't meant to find Amelia. You were meant to disappear with her. Marcus realized too late he wasn't unraveling a mystery. He was the target of a decades-old game, designed to silence anyone who dared glimpse behind the world's carefully maintained facade. The closer he got, the clearer it became. He was never supposed to survive. Chapter 3. The Truth No One is Ready For. Marcus Locke stared at the message, his pulse racing. He knew he was running out of options in time. Every lead evaporated as quickly as he discovered it. Every witness vanished, every file erased. The world around him felt manipulated, a sinister chess game in which he was merely a pawn. Determined not to succumb to despair, Marcus returned to Amelia's apartment one last time. He meticulously combed through the space, looking for something, anything, that could lead him closer to the truth. At last, behind a framed photograph of Amelia with her grandfather, he discovered a hidden USB drive. His heart pounding, Marcus plugged it into his laptop, waiting anxiously as encrypted files loaded on screen. After painstakingly decoding layers of encryption, the contents revealed themselves. Marcus's breath caught as he read through classified documents detailing covert operations, government manipulations, corporate espionage, and a shadow network orchestrating global events from behind the scenes. Amelia's grandfather had discovered this clandestine group, an alliance woven into the fabric of powerful institutions, dedicated to maintaining control at any cost. The final file contained a recorded message from Amelia herself.
Marcus, if you're hearing this, I'm sorry. I never meant to pull you into this. My grandfather uncovered something bigger than either of us imagined, an organization with the power to erase entire histories, people, even reality itself. They manipulate truths, rewrite narratives. They're everywhere, governments, corporations, media. I've been taken, not to be silenced, but because I'm the last key to their puzzle.
Marcus sank heavily into a nearby chair, his mind reeling.
The manuscript wasn't my grandfather's alone. It's the culmination of countless erased voices, evidence that our history has been meticulously rewritten. They took me because they need to finish the erasure. They chose you because they knew you'd follow.
Marcus's chest tightened. This had always been about control over the truth, history, and power itself. He knew now why Amelia was targeted and why they needed her silenced. Suddenly, his laptop screen flickered, the files corrupting rapidly before his eyes. Another message flashed across the screen. Choose Marcus. Disappear quietly, or be erased. Marcus took a deep breath, his resolve hardening.
I won't be silenced.
He quickly uploaded the remaining files to an anonymous server, setting them to release globally if anything happened to him. Grabbing his coat, he stood, knowing what awaited him. As he stepped outside, a sleek, unmarked vehicle pulled up beside him, its tinted windows lowering to reveal shadowy figures inside. Marcus smiled grimly, understanding the cost of revealing the truth.
Whatever happens next, the world will know.
He stepped toward the vehicle, ready to face whatever awaited, secure in the knowledge that he had uncovered truths no one could erase. Chapter 4. The Game Within the Game. Marcus Locke felt reality unravel around him. The evidence he thought he understood now contradicted itself, threads fraying at every attempt to connect them. His laptop screen flickered suddenly, displaying an incoming message, another cryptic note from Amelia Roth.
Marcus, you're asking the wrong questions. Stop searching for me. Start looking at yourself.
Marcus's blood ran cold. He dug deeper into the digital files, only to discover a photograph hidden within encrypted layers. His breath caught, a black and white image from decades earlier, showing a younger Marcus standing among figures he'd never met, in a place he'd never been.
This can't be real.
A knock at his door jolted him from his disbelief. Opening cautiously, he found Evelyn Hartfield standing nervously in the hallway.
Detective Mercer, we need to talk. There are things about you, things you don't remember.
Marcus's eyes narrowed, his confusion mounting.
What things?
Evelyn hesitated, looking deeply uncomfortable.
Your past, your identity. It's been constructed, Marcus. You were never meant to uncover Amelia. You were meant to become her.
Marcus staggered back, disoriented.
What do you mean, become her?
Evelyn reached in her bag, withdrawing a set of files marked with Marcus's name. His entire life, careers, friendships, even traumas, mapped out meticulously.
They erased Amelia, but she was only a prototype. You were the perfected model. Your memories, your experiences, all fabricated to make you the ultimate puppet, the ultimate investigator. You were created to find truths and bury them.
Marcus's vision blurred, reality fracturing around him. The lines between truth and lies dissolved, leaving only chilling clarity. He had never been looking for Amelia. He was the missing piece, a creation designed to find and eliminate threats, unwittingly serving an unseen master. His phone vibrated again, the message simple yet devastating. "Welcome home, Marcus." Marcus knew now he had become both hunter and prey, a pawn forced into a deadly game, a game he was never meant to escape. Chapter 5. The Truth Within a Lie. Marcus Locke stood motionless, the files trembling slightly in his grip. His past, his identity, everything he believed was built on foundations of deception. Evelyn Hartfield watched him closely, her expression a mixture of sympathy and regret.
Who created me? Who's been orchestrating all this?
Evelyn hesitated, visibly conflicted.
A covert coalition of powerful individuals, governments, corporations, institutions. They shape reality, rewrite history, erase threats. You were their ultimate solution, a seeker who could become the thing they feared most, the truth itself.
Marcus sank into a nearby chair, the weight of her words suffocating.
Amelia knew, didn't she? She uncovered it all.
Evelyn nodded slowly.
She stumbled onto your files. Amelia didn't disappear to protect herself. She vanished to shield you, hoping her disappearance would stop your activation. But it was too late.
Marcus stared at the files, pieces falling into place. His childhood friend, who vanished without a trace. His mentor, whose records he'd never managed to verify. Even the case that had haunted him most, the missing child he'd failed to save, was a constructed trauma designed to keep him in line.
So, nothing about my life is real.
Evelyn stepped closer, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder.
The emotions, the courage, the choices you've made, those are yours. They couldn't control your humanity, Marcus. That's your strength.
He looked up at her, determination flaring in his eyes.
Then let's expose them.
Evelyn hesitated, fear flickering briefly across her face.
Exposing them means risking everything. Are you prepared for that?
Marcus nodded, conviction steadying his resolve.
Truth deserves its day in the light, no matter the cost.
Evelyn sighed deeply, admiration mingling with her worry.
Then we need to move quickly. Once they realize you've awakened, they won't stop until you're erased.
As Marcus stood, ready to confront his creators, he realized this was no longer merely a case. It was the battle for his very existence, and perhaps for truth itself. The lines between friend and enemy, reality and fiction, had blurred beyond recognition. But Marcus Locke knew one thing clearly. His story wasn't over yet. Chapter 6. The Choice That Decides Everything. Marcus Locke stood at the precipice of the truth, staring at the encrypted files now open on his screen. His pulse raced, the weight of revelation nearly overwhelming. Every illusion, every carefully constructed narrative about his past had shattered around him, leaving only raw reality, a reality he had never anticipated. The door opened quietly behind him, and Evelyn Hartfield stepped inside, her expression tense but resolute.
Marcus, there's no turning back now. They know you've accessed the files. They're coming.
He turned slowly, meeting her gaze with newfound clarity.
All my life, everything I've known, lies. Every moment, every relationship, manipulated to serve their agenda.
Evelyn's eyes softened, her voice gentle yet firm.
Yes, but they underestimated you. They thought control meant eliminating the truth, but truth always finds a way. You're the proof.
Marcus exhaled deeply, his thoughts swirling around the impossible choice before him.
If I expose this, if I reveal who I am, what they've done, the entire system could collapse. Society might unravel.
Evelyn stepped closer, urgency in her voice.
But if you don't, they'll continue, Marcus. Lives will keep being destroyed, realities rewritten. You have the power to end it.
He looked back at the files. In his hands rested the undeniable truth about decades of deception, manipulation, and abuse of power. He saw clearly now he was the key. His existence itself was proof. Suddenly, his phone buzzed. A final, chilling message appeared on the screen. You know the cost. Expose us, and you erase yourself. Marcus hesitated, the magnitude of the moment pressing upon him heavily. Evelyn watched, her breath shallow, waiting for his decision.
Maybe I was never supposed to exist. Maybe I was never meant to know the truth. But now that I do, how can I bury it again?
Evelyn's eyes glistened with unshed tears.
The choice is yours, Marcus. But remember, truth is the only legacy worth leaving.
Marcus took a deep breath, resolute. He pressed the button, uploading the entire truth to every major news outlet, every government channel, every global network. There was no turning back. As the files transmitted, Marcus felt an unsettling calm. Evelyn reached out, gripping his hand tightly.
You did the right thing.
The world was already changing outside, truths unraveling decades of lies and corruption. Marcus felt a strange sensation, a blurring at the edges of his perception, the certainty that his own reality was dissolving. Evelyn's eyes widened in sudden alarm.
Marcus, your hand.
Marcus glanced down, his fingers slowly becoming transparent. Yet he felt no fear, only acceptance.
Maybe I was always meant to be temporary. A catalyst, nothing more.
She reached out, trying to grasp his fading form.
Marcus.
His voice was steady, even as he faded.
Make sure they remember. Tell them everything.
And with those final words, Marcus Locke vanished entirely, leaving behind only silence and a changed world. One forced to confront the truth he had sacrificed himself to reveal. Chapter 7. The Sacrifice of Truth. Marcus Locke's existence dissolved into the ether, leaving Evelyn Hartfield staring at empty space, her breath ragged with grief and awe. The world beyond shifted instantly, a ripple of revelation sweeping across cities, countries, continents. Screens worldwide lit up simultaneously, broadcasting Marcus's final gift, truths buried deep beneath layers of deception, now impossible to deny. The revelations ignited a firestorm. Powerful leaders, CEOs, and shadowy influencers were exposed overnight, their carefully constructed empires collapsing under the weight of their own lies. Public outrage and upheaval surged as billions grappled with a new, stark reality, one stripped of illusions. Days turned into weeks, and amidst the chaos, Evelyn became the steward of Marcus's legacy. She spoke to audiences worldwide, passionately narrating Marcus's sacrifice, recounting his bravery, and urging the world to embrace truth, no matter how painful. Her words resonated deeply, inspiring movements for transparency, accountability, and justice. But privately, Evelyn mourned. Each night, she sat quietly in her apartment, eyes fixed on a framed photograph. Marcus Locke, smiling genuinely, captured in a rare moment of unguarded happiness. He had been her friend, even if his memories had been crafted, his experiences engineered. Marcus's humanity, his courage, his choice, those were undeniably real. One evening, as Evelyn sat absorbed in her thoughts, her phone vibrated softly. She glanced down, heart skipping. It was an unknown number, sending a simple, Cryptic message.
You kept your promise, Evelyn. Thank you.
Her breath caught sharply, tears welling unexpectedly. Evelyn whispered,
Marcus?
but the message had vanished as mysteriously as it appeared, leaving her heart aching yet hopeful. Perhaps Marcus was still out there, somewhere between reality and memory, a guardian watching over the new world he'd helped birth. Years later, a monument rose in the heart of the city, an enigmatic sculpture symbolizing truth's triumph, inscribed simply, in honor of Marcus Locke, who dared erase himself so the truth could live. People from every corner of the globe came to stand before it, paying silent tribute. And whispered among them was the legend of Marcus Locke, the man who never existed yet changed the world forever.